Hi everybody, welcome back to the Desmo Works channel, and in this stifling heat today we're going to start getting the internals into the engine that we put the crankcases together on last week. So just a quick update. Just since last week all I've done is I've put the lower case bolts in to finish off that I didn't show in the last video. The sump plug has gone in, and I just put the spring detent bolt in. So just to let you guys know what progress I've made. So internals, we've got a mix of both the primary gear side or clutch side and the generator side. So got the gears to put in, starter gear, intermediate gear, primary gear, the oil pump, the selector fork, then the generator main starter gear and the generator flywheel. Also got a brand new seal for the gearbox output shaft to go in. So actually, as we've got that there, that would be the quickest and easiest thing to do. Let me just grab a something to force that on with, and we'll get that in. Actually, I'll just put a little bit of grease inside it first as well. Okay, next job is to stick in the selector fork. What I'll do is just roughly put this in place. Get a special tool in. Oh, didn't want to play. There we go. Right. Right, 10 newton meters for this one. And 25 newton meters for this one. There we go. Next up, we'll put the intermediate timing gear on, which goes here. Now this is the locking washer that would go on here. It has a little tab on the back. Now this one's okay, so I could, if I wanted to, just straighten it off and reuse it, but I've got so many of these as spares that I'll use a fresh one. So let me just grab that. Make sure that you locate that correctly in there. It says to use a little bit of oil on the thread. And this gets done up to 45 newton meters. And bend the washer up. Okay, next up, starter motor, all freshly painted. Okay, 3 bolts. Ten newton meters. Okay, so now we need to put the starter gear in. Washer. Bit of oil on the shaft. circlip to do it. Okay, need to align the timing marks. So we've got time mark there, time mark there. No. So time marks aligned. Right, little punch mark, just align with the wood rough key on the outside. Wash nut. Swirl out locking thread. Right, I think the flywheel is slightly larger than on the 996 model, so the holes are not aligning up. So I've gone with the old marlin spike approach, so a tapered drift in there so it doesn't damage the threads. 186 Newton meters for that. Who needs a gym when you can work on Ducati engines? Yowza. Okay, so all of the internals are in on the electrical side of the engine, the generator side. So just to recap, cool, catching my breath after doing that torque up. I've fitted in the detent spring bolt. There's a spring and a ball bearing in behind there. We've put in the seal for the gearbox output shaft, the selector fork, and set that up in the correct position. The intermediate timing shaft pulley, drive pulley, with its special washer and nut. We're putting the starter motor, the intermediate starter gear, the main starter gear, the flywheel, and then the generator rotor, dished washer with the convex side up, and then the nut with a little bit of locking thread compound, and that is done up to 186 Newton meters. Okay, so that piece of the work is done. Let's look at the cover now. Okay, so we need to rebuild the clutch cover. So I've stuck the window back in, it's just a case of pushing that in. I am missing the gear change seal at the moment. It didn't turn up in the last order of parts, so that's still got to come. And I've also got the wrong gasket. So I realised I was using an earlier manual when I ordered it, so I've just found the correct part number and I'll get that sorted. So what we've got, new bottom mechanical seal. We're sticking with the original part of the mechanical seal that rotates. So this is the fixed part of the mechanical seal, the ceramic face. So we'll be putting that into there. We've also got two new bearings, a completely sealed one, which is a 6000 2RSH C3, and then we've got a 6000 C3. So effectively what we'll be doing is putting that in, which acts as the back face for the ceramic face of the seal. Then the sealed bearing goes in, then the open roller bearing. Okay, so let's get the sealed bearing in. Heat that up first. Then now the roller bearing. Put the washers on. Okay, let's put the crank support bearing in. And circle it. Okay, so that's the bearings in. In fact, actually, before I put the pump in, let's put the stator in. That needs to position roughly there. Okay, the camera just died there, so while I was just doing that, I've just put a little bit of free bond in there, which is where this is going to seal against. So that will push into there. And now what we need to do is just stick in and I had to tap the threads on the generator stator because there was thread lock in there. Seem to have a fast flowing locking thread bottle. Little cable stay. Just going to go down. Just going to go down in here. Holds that cable back. Okay, all the internals done. So we fitted the new bearings, the lock-in bolts, the stator has gone in for the generator, plus the support bearing for the crankshaft, plus its circlip. Then the generator cable stay has been put in, and I've just bunged in that stay. So, new one of these. Try not to touch the ceramic face. Clean bit of cloth. Just pushes in like so. Then get the main bearing, or the main part of the mechanical seal, and the pump impeller. We're just going to push that in. Give it a push and it exposes a little valley. This retaining washer only goes on one way. There's a little machined step in it which must face up. Then get the little retaining clip. And then we push that snap ring down till it secures in the little groove, and then let the pump go. And that's one rotating part of the pump in. Okay, because I don't have the gasket yet, I'm just going to stick this on just to protect the impeller. grab one of the bolts. Thread's feeling a bit rough. By only leaving one bolt in there, I know I've got something to do, so I don't put them all in. Just check that it's not impinging on the impeller, because we need that free to turn. Right, I'm just going to quickly run the tap down these threads, because I'm just getting a little bit of resistance. I think there's a little bit of abrasion on some of them. Let's just do that quickly. Okay, let's free bond this side of the cover up and get the side cover on. Right, one side cover on. It's come out really nice. So not standard colour, Audi grey, but against the silver I think it looks really good. You'll just notice I spent a while cleaning off the free bond. It's just because, being a road bike, I just want it to look a little bit special with all this work that we've done on it. So I don't want the sort of excess free bond showing. So I've just gone that little bit of extra work just to make sure that it's cleaned off and looks pristine. Okay, let's flip the engine over and we'll make a start on the clutch side. Okay, flip the engine over now so that we can do the clutch side. So first off, we need to get the primary gear and the oil pump in. So I've put some new O seals in for the oil pump. The primary gear has a little tabbed washer, and you can see the original one is beyond use because the little tab's broken. So I've got a fresh tabbed washer. I've also got a new seal to go on the timing shaft and a couple of aluminium seals for the strainer and the strainer drain bolt. Okay. The clutch cover is all built up. It's got a new seal fitted for the primary wheel. You can see that's all, and I've just put a little bit of rubber grease on the crankshaft seal. Okay, first things first, let's loosely fit the primary gear and then the oil pump, and then we get everything tightened down on there. And we'll also put the primary gear in place because I'll use that to lock the primary gear when I tighten it. I'm not using a stand because I want to try and keep the paint in good condition, so or the powder coat, sorry, in good condition. So I'm just resting it against bubble wrap. So that's the reason why it's just canted over like this at the moment. Little tab washer. Okay, done up to 186 newton meters. Just now going to fold over the lock washer, and that's the primary gears tight, and then I just need to do 10 newton meters, 26 newton meters. Right, tab washer bent over. Really important to make sure you do the edges, tap in each edge so that you're definitely pinching it. You just don't want the flat there, so you want to bend that over. I might actually just tap that down a little bit more actually. But all torqued up. What I'm going to do now, I'll just finish doing that, and then I shall quickly buzz a bead of sealant around where the clutch cover goes, and we'll get that on. Okay, sealant's on, so let's push the covers on. Clutch cover on, which is looking nice and spiffing. All new crush washers been put in where they were needed. Just going to push this time shaft seal on, so let's just put a little bit of rubber grease. Okay, next job is to get the strainer in. So I've cleaned that all out. Washer on, 42 newton meters. Drain bolt. Okay, so clutch side done. So all we've done on here: primary driven gear, primary gear, oil pump, then the clutch cover's gone on. We've put a new intermediate timing shaft seal in. We've replaced the filter gauze and its drain bolt. And job's a good one. It's looking really nice. Let me just tidy up quickly. Okay, so bottom end is pretty much put together. All I've got to do is put the cylinder studs in, which I'm going to do off camera because it's a relatively straightforward job, and it's absolutely sweltering in here, and I just want to crack on with it quickly. What I'll be doing next is rebuilding the head, so we'll be putting this to one side over on the bench ready to go. And we'll get to starting to put the cylinder heads together. That's presented us a challenge. I used a different powder coater this time, and unfortunately not only did he do the outside of my valve cover, he's also done the inside, so I need to work out a way to get rid of all that powder coat, which I'm not best pleased with. When I went to him, he said I should have told him that he didn't need to do the inside of a valve cover. My personal belief is any self-respecting powder coater would know that you don't put powder coat on an engine internal. He covered the gasket face. On anything that had threads, he didn't protect it. This was not the guy I used for the first time, by the way. This is a different chap, and I shall not be using him again. I'm just debating whether to put his name up to warn everybody else, but he says that he's a bike specialist, but personal opinion is he doesn't have a bloody clue, would be my view on that. If he's covered in threads and done the inside of the valve covers, so I've got to sort that out before I can finish the heads as well. But the actual engine is looking fantastic. The first powder coater who did this did a fantastic job, and we sorted everything out together with regards to the VIN number. He just didn't have any capacity to do the other bits, so I had hope in finding somebody else that'd sort that out, but hey ho, you learn from your mistakes. Okay, let's wrap that up there. Okay, so that's it for this video. I'm absolutely sweltering. Bottom end is almost together. Just got to do the engine cylinder studs and it's job done on the bottom end. So as I said, next video will be reassembling the heads, getting the valve clearances sorted and everything like that. I'll also get the pistons into the cylinders ready to install onto the engine itself, and then I may or may not get to the point where we assemble the engine complete apart from these screwed up valve covers in the next episode, but we'll see how it is. I'm on holiday for this week, which is hence why the video's a bit later. Partly it's absolutely sweltering in the UK for the last few days, so it's not been very comfortable to work in the garage. If you enjoyed that video, chuck us a like, and any questions or comments, stick them down below and I'll try and answer as soon as I can. And if you're not a subscriber to the channel, would really welcome you as one, so please hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications of further content. Thanks for watching, see you on the next video. Cheers then, bye.